So it's only just over a week since Sir Michael Parkinson died, and his son Mike has been talking about his father's amazing career. And one of the interesting lines that came out, he'd done the interview with BBC Radio 4 on a programme called Last Word, which was dedicated to Parky. He said that all through his career he suffered from imposter syndrome, and that mostly came down from him being a northerner from South Yorkshire, coming from a village called Cudworth. And he said that at the time when Parky was coming in, he had working class guilt. He didn't think that he was good enough. He felt the BBC were looking down on him. Like, they really questioned his authority just because he was from, from up north. And it's quite, if you think about his career, he's had an amazing career, interviewed all these people, but that sense of working class guilt never left him.
But you see, it was very much a thing, wasn't it, that if you were if you were a broadcaster, you had to be posh.
Yeah.
That was always the thing. It changed a little bit in my time. Well, there's a nice picture of you two.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there we are. Lovely, lovely man. But, I mean, he was very proud of his working-class roots.
Yeah.
But at the time, in the early days, I can imagine at the BBC, most of his bosses will have been Oxbridge.
Yeah.
And I think they probably did have this slightly patronising attitude towards him. Who was he to be so good at his job? And actually, it's his very ordinariness that made him so extraordinary, isn't it?
And he broke the mould as well. And I think these days, when people think of diversity, they think, oh, it's either you're black, or, whether your sexuality. But diversity can mean so many things. And
absolutely.
You do feel like people, in all industries, if they're not from London, they do need to think about they are coming down south and they are having a different accent, they've had a different way of living. So to reflect that.
And this business is also, I mean, I don't know if it's true in the theatre as well, certainly in television. I've met lots of people who have that imposter syndrome. They feel, they're almost too lucky. And they haven't done anything to deserve the luck they're enjoying.
Most women suffer from imposter syndrome. I don't know what it is, why people don't feel like they're good enough to do the jobs they're doing.
I'll tell you what it is. It's because we all sit around and work with people who you think are really professional.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that Anne Diamond.
Yeah.
She's a real professional. I'm just getting away with it by the skin of my teeth. Until you realise that everyone feels pretty much the same way.
Yeah. Even Dame Esther Ranson said it to me once. She said, I do every programme thinking, oh, I'm going to be found out. One day I'm going to be found out.
Yeah. I feel
she
like
used
that.
those words.
No.
I do. Viewers always you come across so confident. I'm inside I'm like...
Really?
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. I wonder why.
Is. Even though I'm talking to friends, you still get that feeling of when you're in the hot seat. So I can imagine Parky felt like that, and even though he met so many celebrities...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've got... Mind you, you wouldn't think he had imposters. I was been at dinner parties, sat down with him, and he just would talk for hours with just regale you with all these tales and things. And he just never stopped. He had so many stories.
I liked his accent.
Yes, his accent's lovely.
Yeah, I would love to see, other than Stephen, of course, I would love to hear more northern accents on TV. It just, it breaks all the London twang.
Yes.
It does.
Well, we're breaking it down as much as we can, aren't we? Yeah. I'm at Brummie.
Ah!
Oh, yeah. And when I go back to Birmingham, I talk Brummie, and that's awful, because I feel, I feel embarrassed.
Did it used to be thicker?
No, no.
Yeah.
I think I've always spoken like that. Although, actually, no, if you look back at very old video of me, I have a very... I'm quite posh, actually.
When you used to do breakfast TV before?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the thing, though. You had to have received pronunciation, didn't you?
Yeah. Interesting.
I've always been common. It's all right.
Same here.